Hello, I'm Rory from Gymetrics, and this week I'm going to be talking about a summary of our results from 2015, which constitutes 138 gyms and over 33,000 face-to-face surveys that we did. The first interesting fact that we found is that we count how many people there are on the gym floor, male and female, and where they are. And what we found is that males outnumber females 2 to 1 on average on a gym floor. Most operators look at their membership base and think it's 50-50 and set up the gym floor accordingly. However, many of the females are just using the classes. They're not actually going onto the gym floor. And the difference here makes the gym floor predominantly male. This graph here is showing us where people are in the different sections of the gym. And the big surprise here is how few people are in the functional areas. This is why we started to count the people in the gym and where they are, was because a lot of people were criticizing the very low usage of functional that our sensors were measuring, saying people are in these areas doing other activities. And this is why we count the people and see where they are. The big imbalances that we're seeing is functional areas are too big relative to the number of people that are in them, mats are way too small, and free weights areas are way too small. Gymetrics also does surveys, and specifically we ask people what equipment do they find is usually busy and it bothers them. And we've broken this down male and female. What we can see here is racks are the #1 cause of frustration for both males and females on the gym floors. Females also have a big problem with the mats areas. And our advice to operators here is free weights areas need to get a lot bigger. 2015 has been a big surprise for us in terms of females wanting to use free weights. We've been picking up males wanting more free weights equipment at gyms for some time, but the big takeaway for us in 2015 was females wanting to use free weights areas and specifically racks, wanting to do squats. Looking at this and looking at the oversupply of functional areas, our advice to operators is make these functional areas more multi-purpose. Put barbells in there, maybe even Olympic bars, so that people can go into these areas and use them for doing free weights and squats. And also enable people to move mats into these areas. So you're not sitting with mat areas that are too small and free weights areas that are too small and empty functional areas, but rather there's more flexibility in the gym where people can start to use these underutilized functional areas to start doing squats and to start stretching with mats. We also ask the Net Promoter Score question in our surveys. And breaking it down male and female, what we can see is males are significantly less satisfied in their gyms than females, coming with a Net Promoter Score of only 25 versus a female Net Promoter Score of 45. We're putting this down to the low availability that males are facing for their favorite equipment, which is namely free weights equipment. If we view the primary service that gyms are selling is for their customers to be able to use available equipment, the service level that females are being offered is a lot higher than it is for males. Males are faced with significantly higher frustration levels because they can't get onto their favorite equipment relative to females. Next, we're going to look at a consolidation of our advice in terms of what equipment we felt should be removed or not replaced on the gym floor because there was simply too much of it, and where the shortages were, where there wasn't enough equipment, and this was causing customers frustration. The excesses, we can see, at list price came to £5.6 million that we recommended removed from the gym floor. The shortages, on the other hand, only came to £2.5 million. In other words, our customers could provide a better service to their customers by spending over £3 million less in equipment. The shortages are mainly free weights and mats. So benches, #1, cables #2, mats #3, and dumbbells #4. In terms of the excess equipment, cross trainers #1, treadmills #2, upright cycles #3, and recline cycles #4. In closing, we're going to look at relatively new pieces of equipment that we've started to see a lot more in gyms and what the winners were and what the losers were. So in terms of equipment that's relatively new and doing well in our studies, the Woodway Curve is something that we would recommend buying. Watt bikes generally are doing well, although sometimes slightly oversupplied. Don't make the mistake of thinking that a watt bike is a perfect substitute for an upright cycle, because it's not. And finally, Stairmasters. These are proving very popular in our studies. In terms of relatively new pieces of equipment that aren't doing so well, the Life Fitness Stride seems to be struggling against its AMT counterpart, and also the L-Train from Pulse and the Tread Climber from StarTrack. These are pieces of equipment that if you've bought them, perhaps your instructors need to do that little bit extra in terms of including them in induction programs and teaching people how to use them. I hope you have found this interesting and informative. Thank you.